What's up, everybody? This is another candle. I know I haven't posted in a good long while, and you're probably not going to see like a whole lot of me in this video because I am driving at nighttime, so yeah, you're just not going to get to see a whole lot of me in the video. But I'll explain probably in another video at another time why I haven't exactly been making videos. Short explanation right now would just simply be to say that I've just been more or less too busy to be able to do it, and I haven't exactly had a lot of time to put aside and be by myself to be able to compile a video or try to say something, compile my thoughts about a video, I guess would be the better way to put it. The topic of this video, honestly, probably is going to be something that, I'll be honest, I'd say a lot of people that watch my channel may not like and may not necessarily agree with, but I need to put the points out there, and I'm sure that at least a decent few of the people that watch my videos probably don't watch the same videos that I watch. So a quick shout out to a channel that I watch every once in a while. Here lately, with things going on with the war in Ukraine, I definitely watch them. I watch this channel a little bit more often. It's called The Real BP Earthwatch, and I would personally suggest I would suggest you guys check out his videos. Now, don't get me wrong, like he does how would I put this? He does sometimes seem to try to drum up a little more severity about a situation than there might be sometimes, and I'm only saying that just because there's been one or two times I've watched a video about of his about the weather or something like that, and we all know the weather is unpredictable. So yeah, and that happens. That's happened with my videos before. Sorry guys, I am out from under the majority of the streetlights, so from here on out, it's probably going to be dark. But the majority of my videos, I'm just sitting here talking, so if you're watching me talking, then, well, yeah, there's not a whole lot of entertainment factor in watching my videos. It's more for listening. So the subject, though, is about Ukraine and Russia. And the first thing that I want to get out there, that I want to put out there, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before in one of my older videos. I think it was one of my first videos I put out talking about Russia and Ukraine. And basically what I'm going to tell you flat out is just, Russia is not the bad guys in this situation. They might look like it, I get it. Yeah, they invaded Ukraine. I get it, It does look bad. But the thing a lot of people don't understand is while Ukraine was not, I'm pretty sure they essentially basically are now, but they weren't a NATO country. But they were allies with pretty much all of the NATO countries. I'm sure you know what I mean when I say NATO. If you don't know what that means, just look it up on Google. United States started to essentially build bases and stuff like that within Ukraine, and kind of also on the borders of Ukraine and Russia's territory. Now, the fact that Ukraine is not a NATO country, this technically, it doesn't matter what country it is that would do this, it technically is considered a type of an act of aggression. So, there's one mark against the United States and against NATO in this whole issue with the war with Ukraine. Now, that alone, I could look at that and be like, maybe they shouldn't have went to war over that. You could have, brought up, I don't know, a political hearing or something about it. You could have figured out some way to talk that issue out. The problem is, however, if you guys, well, for one, if you haven't ever looked into the WEF, the World Economic Forum, you definitely should. You're missing out on a lot of information, and not just information. These guys, it's called the World Economic Forum because these guys are the richest, most elite powers in the world. And the crazy thing is, like, none of us voted these people in. They just happen to all be rich and all be powerful. And so they're in this World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum makes a lot of decisions that the countries that are all in cooperation with the WEF, they usually tend to go by whatever those regulations are. Like the new Green Deal. That's something that came out of the World Economic Forum. So, since when in our democratic nation did we go from, okay, we vote from our president and stuff like that, to, all right, now your vote doesn't exactly matter. It's based on electorate votes and basically how much money they've been paid to vote for whoever. So unless the electorate votes are completely tied up, your vote as a citizen does not matter. And I know a lot of people get mad at me for saying that, but listen, my history teacher legitimately told me that, and I don't just listen to one teacher. I went and did my research afterwards, and yeah, if you really look at it, and it makes sense if you've watched the past few elections, presidential elections, if you really look at it, none of your votes matter. They don't count, they don't matter, they don't care. So now these guys in this World Economic Forum that you didn't vote for, we went from, okay, your vote kind of doesn't matter in your own country, but now these guys in this forum, they control many of the major things that happen in your country, and you didn't vote for any of them. You didn't ask for any of them to be in power. But they get to control some of the major aspects of your country, regarding things like energy, livestock, land ownership, stuff like that. The new Green Deal is trying to change all of that, guys. We're about to go into an energy crisis, not because we just don't have the energy, but because the World Economic Forum wants our countries to cut their citizens off, essentially. Guys, when you really, really look at it, the World Economic Forum, just view everything they're saying under the idea that they are trying to reduce the human population, which they have stated already on their own. It's an NWO, and I won't say what those words are for. You can look that up on your own, just because they usually try to flag my videos if I mention those words in there. But listen, I'm not the only one that said it. Daggum Biden, talks about it. The people in the World Economic Forum, they talk about it. So it's obviously, it's not fake, it's not a conspiracy, it's real. They just don't want you to talk about it. So, how does this wrap up with Russia? Okay, because I've been kind of going on for a minute, kind of outlining, explaining to you a little bit of background as to what's going on. So why would Russia have any issues and want to even go to war in the first place? Well, the World Economic Forum, just not too long before the invasion of Ukraine, basically called together, a meeting of a lot of the leaders of nations across the world, and there was two. I want to say two. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. Just look it up for yourself. It's okay. Do your research. Listen to what I say. Go do your own research. The couple of world leaders that didn't show up to this big meeting was, if I remember right, Russia, China, and I believe North Korea, but they may have been there. Again, like I said, I could be wrong. I'm literally driving home from work and just firing all this out at you from my brain because something told me, hey, maybe your viewers haven't seen this stuff. Maybe they need to know. So, one of the main things that was discussed in that group, that the World Economic Forum called together, was essentially a unified banking system. Which also is another grand way to usher in an NWO. But yeah, a unified banking system. Now, Russia, being honestly a lot like us, like more like us than a lot of Americans want to admit, Russia loves their freedom. They want to be able to have their own commerce and trade without having to worry about an unvoted NWO, World Economic Forum, essentially governing everything they do. They don't want that. They don't want to be a part of this new NWO. Just say that again. They don't want to be a part of it. And so that's whenever all of a sudden this conflict in Ukraine started. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but Ukraine has been a proxy in between the United States and Russia for a little bit now. And what that means, if you guys don't know, a proxy war is essentially where a large country will fund a smaller country to be able to go to war with another country that said large country doesn't exactly want to directly go to war with, but at the same time wants to be able to weaken them. That way, whenever they decide, all right, it's time to go full in and invade, they should be able to easily. So you've got Ukraine being a proxy. You've got the WEF putting pressure on Russia, saying, you guys better join us, or, we're going to use America. We're going to come down on you hard, put the thumb on you. And Russia doesn't like that. I mean, you got to think about it. Russia's just like how the United States was back in the Revolutionary War period. They're like, no, I'm not dealing with that. You have no reason to control our monetary transactions and such. Like, they have no reason to control that. So Russia gets mad. They invade Ukraine. And now the problem is, what's the United States' goal in funding Ukraine? Which, by the way, Germany also has said that they're going to send in tanks and supplies to Ukraine. Which, I mean, I'm just saying, you are asking for the Russians to come and fight back with fury whenever you start sending German cross-marked tanks into Russia. They're going to remember those millions of soldiers that died from tanks back in the 1940s that had that German cross on it. They're going to remember that. They're not going to be happy about it. I think that's the reason why they're asking Germany, and from videos that I've been watching, Germany is kind of starting to wake up. They even wrote a letter, excuse me, essentially dissing the United States and saying, like, hey, this whole conflict in Russia isn't going to stop until you, the United States, stops sending munitions and tanks and all kinds of stuff to them. Like, it's not going to stop. It's just going to continue to go, and then you're going to be at World War III, which Russia has already said that they are not afraid of World War III, that they will rush headlong right into it. Nukes at the ready. They don't care. And I get why they don't care. They're sick and tired of these demonic forces that control the majority of the countries across the world, that control the World Economic Forum. They are tired of them. They're tired of being pushed around. Now, the United States, a good question to ask. What is the goal of the United States sending as much as they have into Russia? What is it? The United States majorly hasn't even declared what their purpose is. Biden just keeps going, send them more tanks. And that's it. And it's funny, the news is actually, really trying to, talk down how much is being sent over there. The last time I saw it, they said, 31 tanks. And the time before that, I saw that they were like, they sent 24 tanks. What is 24 tanks going to do fighting against a place like Russia with as much as they have? 24 tanks, 32 tanks, I don't care. You can send 100 tanks. Honestly, they're probably not going to work out. It's probably not going to work. The United States, like I said, hasn't said that they have a goal. They haven't stated, are they just trying to hold the line and keep Russia where they're at? Are they trying to push them out of Ukraine? Are they trying to weaken Russia that way they can go in later and try to invade Russia? They haven't stated any of that, as far as I know. Now, if I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong, please. That's fine. But as far as I know, they have not stated a single thing regarding what they're trying to do in Ukraine. All we're doing right now is sending hundreds of tanks and billions of dollars. Billions, by the way. We just hit our debt ceiling like a week or two ago, I think. And like usual, they just vote in a new debt ceiling and just keep sending out more money where we don't have any money. $2 billion. How bad do you think that's going to drive our inflation up? It's going to be pretty darn bad. But you got United States sending all this into a meat grinder in Ukraine. You've got Poland going in Ukraine. Poland has lost, I think, and like I said, I'm trying to remember this stuff off the top of my head. But if I remember right, I think Poland lost 17,000 soldiers trying to fight Russia just recently. I know it's enough that they were having to dig mass graves. That's pretty bad. That's a lot. So why do you have all of these countries trying to pour in? And you notice, like, this is almost the entirety of NATO funneling in resources to Ukraine, and they're getting whooped. Excuse me. I know if you read a lot of news outlets and stuff like that, which please don't. They're dumb. They know what they're trying to do, but they're definitely putting out the wrong information for a fact. Like, that's a fact. They're putting out the wrong information. Russia is whooping Ukraine's rear ends. Those news outlets will try to say, like, we're beating them back. We're slowly pushing them back. Since when? They pushed all the way through. Now they've pushed all the way to Kiev. More than half of Ukraine is owned, or not owned, but is under current control of Russia. And you want to tell me we're beating them back? There's no way. It's just not possible. The numbers don't add up. Russia is strategically bombing and attacking Ukrainian infrastructure. They keep hitting the energy companies and stuff like that. Places where there's transformers. I think thermoelectric facilities and stuff like that have been bombed. They're cutting them off. And we can send all the tanks and money and stuff like that over there, but what are you going to do for Ukraine whenever they cut their electricity off? And I'm pretty sure it's winter over there right now. They're not going to survive. If they don't have power, most of those people over there, a lot of times it's like places in the United States. If our power went out in the dead middle of winter, probably 90% of the United States would end up in big trouble because they ain't got nothing like a wood stove. Simple, cost-effective, put in a little bit of work to bring your wood in, but you can survive any cold. Doesn't matter if you have power or not. But the United States doesn't want people to have those. Just letting you know. Guys, it's something to keep your eyes out on. Like, I know, I'm sure I'm probably all over the place in this video. This kind of ends up happening. I even prayed before I started making the video because I was like, God, I feel like you want me to talk about this, and if you want me to, please help me to do it right. I haven't made a video in a long time, so I feel rusty. But, like I said, it's something you need to keep your eyes on. Keep your eyes on the World Economic Forum. Russia is not the bad guys. I'm just trying to tell you. If you believe in the Bible, if you believe in Revelations, I personally believe that we are on the cusp of the beginning of the Revelations prophecies. And I believe it's a very short amount of time before we as believers are raptured out. That's for a different video, different day. I want you guys to be careful of who you put your allegiance is. You know, it's something that really stood out to me whenever I was growing up. Is they have you as a kid reciting a chant. And don't get me wrong, I'm an American. You know, I do love the United States. It is a great country. I did grow up saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and honestly, for the most part, I still agree with a lot of the Pledge of Allegiance. But listen, guys, as a kid, they're training you. You know, you pledge your allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. To God, anything? No. To the flag of the United States of America. That's what you pledge your allegiance to. The United States does not stand for God's word anymore. They do not stand for God's morals anymore. So whenever you say the Pledge of Allegiance, you need to remember what your country stands for now. We are not one nation under God anymore. We are not indivisible anymore. Look at the past 5 years, and you want to tell me this is an indivisible country? They want us to turn against each other, guys. They want us to kill each other. This is the whole point. I can almost guarantee that within the next 20 years' time, if we are not raptured out before then, or the sun hasn't gone into a micronova, which we would still be raptured out before that, they're going to have us killing each other in the streets for every stupid reason that you could think of to be trying to kill somebody. Listen, I appreciate all my people who watch my videos. And guys, again, I'm so sorry that I haven't put videos out in such a long time. You know, if you guys do like these videos, feel free to just, you know, put some support out there. You ain't even got to like or comment or nothing like that. But if you like what's being said and you think someone needs to hear it, please just share it. You know, especially my videos talking about God. This one's a little bit less important to me, but, you know, especially the ones talking about God. Please share them. I'm not worried about getting likes. I'm not worried about my comments and my YouTube polls and all that stuff. I really don't care. For me, it's just the more people that I can reach with the truth and reach with God's word, that's what I'm worried about. That's what I care about. Again, I appreciate all you guys. I'm pretty sure I'm getting up on like 36 subscribers or something, like maybe 34. I don't. Like I said, I really don't pay attention to it a whole lot because it's not too important to me. But if you guys, like I said, if you guys want to get these kind of messages out to other people, just share them. I don't care. Throw it on your Facebook. Send it to somebody in a private message. You know, I don't care if it's one person you think might listen to it. It might be beneficial for them. Also, guys, keep an eye out. I have noticed recently that I can share posts, and I guess I can share other people's videos to my YouTube page. I'm going to be trying to do that, specifically with videos that I watch, videos that have either previously, and video makers also, that have either previously inspired some of my video making, or in general are just the main focus of my research. I'm going to start trying to share those here to my channel. Check them out if you want to. Support those channels if you want to. I hope you guys have a blessed evening. Yeah, I'll see y'all sometime.